Hello everyone, this is Monday Morning Motivation. Thanks for joining me today. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 7 says, "Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things." Apostle Paul here is summarizing all that he said before, but doing so in a panoramic way, making expanded statements on all that love does. Taken as a standalone, verse 7 could easily be misinterpreted and misapplied, giving a twisted view of what love really is. Paul here is like an artist who takes a few steps back from the picture he is painting to get a broader view of the entire scene. He does so to better see the whole picture, and this is what verse 7 is to all the preceding verses covered so far. Within any relationship, be it casual or personal, and especially in marriage, love bears all things. This, however, must be viewed in context of verse 6, which talks about not taking pleasure in injustice, but rejoicing in the truth. Love bears all things in conjunction with and balanced by truth and justice. It bears all things as in it covers the other person and does not maliciously expose them. The word bears in a literal sense really means to place under a roof or to cover over, as a roof would cover a building. It means to endure and to put up with. When we speak of love bearing all things, then it means that love will cover over an offense. It will not expose the other person to ridicule or shame. Love knows how to forgive, how and when to turn the other cheek, to go the extra mile, to put up with the other person. Yet for all this, please understand that it's not that you accept any and everything. It is that you're guided by truth. You speak the truth in love, but you do not expose the other person to shame them, but rather to bring healing. You speak the truth with patience, kindness, and with perseverance. Where the person is not walking or acting in truth, there's a responsibility on our part to speak the truth in love, to practice what is called tough love. Yet, love is not really tough, It is simply being truthful, kind, and just by correcting what is bent or crooked, like how a broken limb is reset. A clear example of what I'm speaking about is found in John chapter 11. The woman caught in adultery was exposed by the Pharisees to shame and punishment. Jesus, on the other hand, covered her in love by his actions and his words, "Neither do I condemn you." In doing so, he also spoke the truth in love, correcting her when he said, "Go and sin no more." Just like a good parent who patiently endures and puts up with a wayward young child, yet lovingly disciplines him or her. Just as the Lord is patient with us when we repeatedly mess up, he forgives us time and time again, being kind and good toward us, extending grace to us. However, as Romans chapter 6 verse 1 to 2 would say, well then, should we keep on sinning so that God can show us more and more grace? Certainly not. When love bears all things, it will also believe all things, hope all things, and endure all things. Again, in connection with justice and truth, this is important. In connection with justice and truth, the belief stated here isn't belief in man as such, but belief in God. That is, those walking in love toward others will entrust themselves completely into God's hands. They will have faith, absolute trust and confidence in him that he sees and knows everything and is ultimately the one who is in control. Paul lived this. It is what empowered him and Silas to witness to their captors despite all the ill treatment they received. This love that fully trusted God is what caused him to write letter after letter from prison, encouraging the churches. As he said in 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 12, I know whom I have believed, and am persuaded that he's able to keep what I have committed to him until that day. Oh, the power of God's love that he has given to his people. Can you see why Paul ended his thesis on love with these words? And now abide faith, hope, and love. These three. But the greatest of these is love. When you truly love, you will perpetually hope in God that he will work every situation together for good and will work it all out however he sees fit. We don't try to bend his will to ours, but rather we surrender our will to his. This means that when we are mistreated, when others are hateful and even unkind, we still walk in love toward them because we know in whom our hope lies. Our love toward others must also endure, able to stand firm. That is, we persevere, bear bravely and calmly any ill treatment, small or great. Again, the foundation of this is patience balanced by truth. We don't quit at the first instance of pressure or trouble, but we endure. This kind of love refers to an endurance or staying in place despite setbacks and rebuffs, a quality of love that does not easily give up and walk away when people hurt us. For better or for worse is an example that comes to mind for this kind of love. It is love like a wife it is like a wife who does not easily give up on her husband or vice versa. Perhaps another way of putting it is that love is long-suffering under pressure. The opposite would be losing heart, giving up, washing off your hands and walking away saying, I'm done with that. Those who choose to love like Jesus do not stop loving when life and people become difficult. I really pray that this series has not only been an eye-opener to you concerning love, but it has also transformed your thinking and therefore your conduct and has deepened your love as you seek to glorify God in all that you do and say, knowing that we can truly love like Jesus does. He said, by this all will know that we are his disciples if we have love one for another. So join me next week as I wrap up this series on what is love. God bless you. This has been Monday Morning Motivation. Join me again next week, Monday that is, at 6 o'clock in the morning for another devotional. Have a wonderful week.